The 1997 film of Anaconda ended up being pretty successful despite getting hated on. But to my surprise, this was a shock. 7 years later, a sequel would follow. But unlike some, it wasn't released direct to video. It came exclusively to theaters. So prepare yourselves, because here's my review of Anacondas, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. BT's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome again to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. I'm the Big D, and this time around, I bring to you a review of the 2004 action-adventure horror flick Anacondas: The Hunt for the Blood Orchid, released by Screen Gems, directed by Dwight H. Little. The film serves as a standalone sequel to the 1997 film of Anacondas, so it's not really connected to the events of the first one. The film stars Johnny Messner, KaDee Strickland, Matthew Marsden, Eugene Byrd, Salli Richardson-Whitfield, Nicholas Gonzalez, Karl Yune, and Morris Chestnut. The film follows a team of researchers set for an expedition into the Southeast Asian tropical island of Borneo to search for a sacred flower which they believe will bring humans to a longer and healthier life. But they soon become stalked and hunted by the deadly giant snakes known as the Anacondas inhabiting the island. The film was released on August 27th of 2004. And while it wasn't quite as successful as the original, though it made kind of almost half of what it made, but it still did okay. But like that one, it did get dissed though, and was also the last film to be released theatrically until the reboot, which came out last month before last year was over with. But anyway, since this is a standalone sequel, you don't have to really go back to the first if you don't want to. But anyway, since, like I said, it's not connected to it, it's just a standalone sequel. Here's the story. A team of researchers funded by New York pharmaceutical firm Wexel Hall, including Gordon Mitchell, Dr. Jack Byron, Sam Rogers, Gail Stern, Cole Burris, and Dr. Ben Douglas, leave for a jungle in Borneo to search for a flower called Perennia immortalis, aka the blood orchid, that they believe contains a fountain of youth. Jack convinces guide Captain Bill Johnson and his partner Tran Wu to take an unsafe path despite their misgivings. At one point, Gail falls into the water, loses her phone, and is attacked by a crocodile before Bill rescues her. Their boat goes over a waterfall and breaks apart. A giant anaconda emerges from the water and swallows Ben. The rest of the team reaches the shore. Bill assures them that it is the largest snake he has ever seen, and that it should take weeks for it to grow hungry again. However, most of the team demands that the expedition be called off. They call Bill's friend John Livingston, who lives on the river, to join them, but they find Livingston attacked and his boat wrecked. They find a small native village, a disemboweled anaconda, a pair of human legs hanging out of the snake's abdomen, and an orchid remaining. The orchids are a part of the food chain, and these snakes grow over unusually long lives. Jack realizes the orchids must be nearby, while Gail contends that the orchids may not work on humans. Jack still wants to find the flowers, but the others rebel and build an escape raft to leave the jungle. Gordon discovers that Jack has hidden Livingston's radio and gun. The now psychopathic Jack fails to convince him to continue with the expedition, so he paralyzes Gordon using a previously collected spire to stop him from informing the others. Jack joins the others at the raft, but Sam is suspicious and discovers Gordon and the spire bite. An anaconda swallows Gordon alive as she informs the others, who arrive as it finishes. Bill sets the building on fire, but notices the snake has escaped. Jack, left alone, steals the raft. Unable to make another raft, They hack through the jungle to beat Jack to the orchids and retrieve their raft. On the way, they fall into a cave, trying to escape an anaconda. Cole gets lost and finds human skeletons. He's found by Tran, who then gets pulled under and eaten. Bill finds Tran's lost flashlight flowing in bloody water. A terrified Cole escapes from the cave seconds ahead of the snake, which gets stuck in the hole. Sam beheads it with a machete, but another snake captures the hysterical Cole. The team finds him being constricted. Bill kills the snake with a knife, freeing Cole. Now for the ending. As always, you know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video at once. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen this movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. The group finds Jack in his raft. Jack shoots Bill in the arm to keep him from attacking and forces the party to accompany him to the orchids, which grow above a pit where a ball of male anacondas mate with the female. Sam must cross the pit via a thin log to fill a backpack with orchids. As she returns, the log cracks. Jack orders her to throw him the backpack. Sam threatens to drop the flowers into the pit, but Jack threatens to shoot the others. The log breaks as the others try to reach Sam. Jack goes for the backpack. The spider he used earlier escapes from its jar and bites him. He falls into the pit and is devoured. The vine holding Sam also gives away, but she climbs out of the pit as the female anaconda tries to get her. Gail tricks the snake into buying their fuel container. Bill shoots it, but the gun is empty. Cole shoots a flare immolating the anaconda and exploding the container, killing the other snakes. An ensuing landslide buries the blood orchids. The survivors, Bill, Sam, Gale, and Cole, return to the raft and head to Kota Baharu as the film ends. End of story. So, what did I think of Anacondas: The Hunt for the Blood Orchid? Well, I am going to say I actually liked it just as much as the first film. Now, apparently, this was just a big surprise. I never thought we would actually get one because it had been about for so long. Had been reported and what have you. Now, in real life, the film takes place in Borneo, but however, anacondas are native to South America. Additionally, the stone spider in the film is actually fictional and is portrayed by a golden silk spider, which is relatively harmless to humans, as a matter of fact, yes. Anyway, though it may not have made as much as its predecessor, it made just about half as much as that did. The film still did well, going on to make 71 million worldwide on its 20 to 25 million dollar budget. But its reviews were still dissed. As Rotten Tomatoes has a mere 26%, calling it a cheesy monster B movie. Well, yeah, it kind of still feels like a B movie, you know. Metacritic has a score of 40, which is mixed. Roger Ebert gave this 2 out of 4 stars, rating less than that he gave of the original film. But however, he praised Matthew Marsden's performance as being suitably treacherous. Keith Phillips of the AV Club criticized the movie for its CGI snakes. Yeah, the snakes were CGI, you know. While the Oregonians Karen Carbos said it never takes itself too seriously, and Audiences Poll by CinemaScore gave it a B. Now, the film got nominated for an APRA Music Award for its score, composed by Naraya Tyson Chu. I hope I pronounced that right, but lost. And apparently, that score was pretty good, and what have you. Anywho, apparently it was also nominated for a Razzie for worst remake or sequel, but lost to Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, which was released, well, just about, well, almost a half a year before that in ways. That's no problem. Even though it still did okay, That was the last film to be released in theaters before the reboot came out before last year was over with. However, 3 years late, well, not three, 4 years later, the snakes came back when the Sci Fi Channel premiered Anaconda 3 Offspring in July of 2008. And it would be produced by a company that would actually become a subsidiary of Sony, which would be Stage 6 Films. But I'll get to that and its sequel, Anaconda's Trail of Blood, later in the month. Anyway, its soundtrack's pretty decent and what have you. It also has a song from a band called Blue Root, I think they're called, which is part two of a little number they call Chapow, which is played at the beginning of the end credits, which I thought was pretty darn cool and kickin'. I did like that. The story's fine and what have you, but like I said, I feel like the CGI using the snakes was a little alright, but not really that great. It could have been better, you know. For the cast we have playing Bill is Johnny Messner. And well, he was well known for his performance in this, as a matter of fact. After he had recently appeared in other films before this, including The Sweetest Thing and Tears of the Sun. Well, he later went on to do several other films and what have you. Not too many I'm too familiar with, though. But, however, I will say he does a good job. Playing Sam is KaDee Strickland, who later went on to become a big star of ABC's hit Private Practice. Playing Dr. Byron, Jack Byron, is Matthew Marsden, who recently appeared in Ridley Scott's war epic Black Hawk Down. He also went on to appear in Rambo, aka the fourth Rambo film, and Tenet as well. Then there's Salli Richardson-Whitfield as Gail. And this woman, after this, would later go on to play Dr. Alison Blake on Eureka. She recently has a role in 1994's A Low Down Dirty Shame, long before this. Playing Cole is Eugene Byrd, who later went on to star in 8 Mile and play Clark Edison on Bones. Yeah, I mean TV's Bones, that is. Morris Chestnut, who before this was in Like Mike, and after this he was in The Game Plan and many other films. Maybe, but those were family films. But he had been in other films for big guys. He plays Gordon Mitchell. He does a good job. Karl Yune um, played Tran Yu. He, of course, later went on to play Masao Yamashiro on Arrow, as well as make appearances in Memoirs of a Geisha and Real Steel. Nicholas Gonzalez played Ben Douglas. Of course, he had recently starred as Dr. Neil Melendez on ABC's recent hit show The Good Doctor. He was also seen on Showtime's Resurrection Boulevard. But anyway, there's lots of others in my view, so the cast isn't too bad. But even in the end, Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid is, from my point of view, it's pretty good in some ways, but maybe not that great though. It comes close to being a little bit of a improvement, or well, what have you, over the first one. I kind of actually feel like, but hey, it didn't have that many well-known people I wasn't too familiar with. The first one was though, so this almost come close to being good as the first one. So would I recommend this film to y'all? Well, I would say give it a one-time watch if you're a hardcore completionist. Okay? So that's going to do it. What did you think of Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, Subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, and you know the rest. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of the Jean-Claude Van Damme classic Lionheart for its anniversary. So if you like this, check out these other Anacondas. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of this film's predecessor, the cult hit of Anaconda from 1997, or you can go to the upper right-hand corner and see the outrageously crazy action comedy reboot, meta reboot that is, of Anaconda from last year. Or you can go to the bottom left-hand corner and you can see my review for, well, actually a remake to the cult classic from 1978 itself in Piranha. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya. And of course, I will be reviewing 2 of the Anaconda sequels later in the month, okay? Okay, I'm really gonna go this time. Bye.